We are live. Hello, everyone. My name is Brendan Dwyer of WestWard Media, and today we're starting a new series that's name is still up in the air. You are either welcome to join us here on WestWard's Wellness Wonders or Wonders of Wellness. The title is still open for discussion. We already have our guests live and ready, so if Nicole, if you just want to send us a video request, send you a little wave. The video icon is just right down over here. Should be just that little camera icon. If you want to click on that, and we can get started. Perfect.
Hi,
Hey, Nicole, welcome.
how are you?
I am doing fabulous, as most folks should when talking things wellness, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me. I've been trying to get this show launched for quite a while, as I mentioned to you. Had a few people lined up, things didn't work out, so I'm glad I finally got someone in the field of wellness to come onto this show. Your audio cut out right there.
Oh,
Oh, there you are. All right,
happy to help.
absolutely. So, for those who don't know, tell everyone what you do for a living in the field of wellness.
So I've been a massage therapist for 10 years.
Right.
Um, oh, hold on. Clearly, I don't know how to do this. All right. Yeah, I've been a therapist for 10 years. So wellness is pretty close to the heart for me. Um, I needed it for myself, and once I realized what a great form of therapy it was, I decided to do it for other people. So
Okay, yeah. So that was actually the first thing. What was the initial moment that first got you into wellness? Like, at what point, like, what's the story where you were like, oh, yeah, this is something I really want to do, like specific?
Um, I guess, well, I started when I was really young. I was about 18, I think. Um, and I was just in a really tumultuous point in my life, and I didn't know what I wanted to do for a career. Um, and massage therapy was something that I actually started researching my senior year of high school. So by the time I graduated, I was like pretty sure that that's what I wanted to do. Um,
What made you research it during high school?
um, I don't know. I was looking at other career paths. Like everyone in my class was pretty much researching, architecture or mathematics or, you know, English teacher. Like people, I don't know. That was a thing in my high school that we we'd research, careers that we thought that we might do. It's funny to look at now because I feel like there's so many things that you do in life, how can you expect to just do one thing as soon as you graduate and that's just it. But I don't know.
Now, had you had any like wellness treatments beforehand when you had researched it, or did it kind of just pop to you?
Um there are other things I was looking at, like, I love to paint. I was really, you know, I've always been pretty artistic too. So it was either become a painter or a dance teacher. I always wanted to do that, or a massage therapist. So, massage therapy, I guess, was projected to be a very profitable career by about 2014. I had projected it out, in terms of, yearly income, what it looks like, um, growing as a field. And it seemed to be growing. So I wanted to be a part of something that, I was interested in.
Now,
Uh,
would you Would
Yeah,
you say you developed love for the field more as time's gone on?
that's hard to say. Um, Sometimes I really do. I still, at the core of my being, believe in what I do. I help people relieve their pain in a way that's not, um, they're not reliant on prescription drugs or, anything like that. So
Absolutely.
I have a lot of clients that have chronic pain, and that's how they deal with it. So
Now, where did you first go to study massage therapy?
I went to Lincoln Tech, actually.
Oh,
Few different programs. They have like a cosmetology school. They have one for massage therapy. I think they have a computer tech program too. So, um, but I had actually um, I had tested to get in, and I got a scholarship, or a half scholarship, I should say. But um, so that really helped make the decision for me on which school I was going to go to, because I could have gone to Bancroft, which is pretty much it's been labeled the best school in the country. So I could have gone there, but driving to Worcester from North Providence at the time just seemed a little too far. So,
hmm.
but I was happy to get into LTI, and my teachers were really great, very down to earth, funny people that made the curriculum way easier to learn, and I was excited to go to school for once. So.
That's fantastic. So, what does the massage therapy training program entail at Lincoln Tech?
So you basically, it's 500 hours. I think they might have changed it because the rules for licensure seem to change every couple of years.
Yeah.
I went to school, it was 500 hours courses, and then I had to do what's called hands-on practical hours. So for me, it was about 30 hours that I needed to do, just practicing what I had learned, and putting it into physical use, because that's where you get experience. So
Yeah. How many different classes did you have to take?
I had to take anatomy, kinesiology, pathology, of course, is very, very important. Um, yeah, but you know, I took there are a few courses in there about Eastern medicine that I really enjoyed. I took an Ashiatsu course.
Oh,
Yeah, so that was kind of included but it was like, you know, my program was about a year long, so like each course was actually like 30 days intense, and you just like got examined at the end of it. So that was actually fun because I felt like it was a constant refresh of new material um, being thrown at me. So it was kind of a crash course, I want to say, but it was fun. It's a lot of fun.
would you say were some of your favorite courses to study in terms of styles of massage therapies? Because I know they have probably like a different course for each one, whether it's Swedish, deep tissue, Reiki, reflexology, all that. What would you say were some of your favorites to take during the time?
Hmm. So there's parts of each one that I really, really enjoyed, and parts of each one that I really didn't enjoy. um, but because a lot of the tests were pretty hard. Like I said, it was really intense material being thrown at you. So, but my favorites, I would say, would be um, Eastern medicine and Swedish massage. I think we started, if I remember correctly, we started with Swedish. So we actually got to start with some hands-on learning. Um, so that was really fun because I guess I got to see firsthand what it was really like to receive,
Hmm.
and that was really
So that was the first time you had ever actually received a massage was when you were going to school for it?
Yeah, so I didn't know anything about it, receiving it really. I didn't even really know if I liked to be touched. But then I got massages and I was like, this is awesome. Like yeah, um it's really really necessary because when we're young, we're always being coddled, we're always being um I don't know, in infancy, like you're being held all the time, and you have that oxytocin like happening in your brain all the time. And as you get older, obviously you don't have those things really happening so much, or maybe you do, I don't know. But it's the constant introduction of positive touch that doesn't really necessarily have to do with intimacy, but it's a different kind of intimacy about, healing and human connection, and it's good stuff. So I learned a lot from getting massage for the first time. Absolutely.
Now, this is probably an obvious answer right here, but what would you say was your favorite when you were at school there, practicing on folks or being the one being practiced on?
Um, well, I liked practicing because my instructor Betsy at the time, she would put on like Frank Sinatra, because I guess
Ooh.
dad was really into Frank Sinatra, so we would massage to Frank Sinatra, which thing. Um, so I liked giving because I liked it was just a fun atmosphere to work in. It really was.
That's actually really cool. Now, were there any, you said you took an Ashiatsu course there as well. What was that like?
Oh, well, learning. So Ashiatsu, I guess my Ashiatsu course was my, like, they combined a few different like Eastern medicine practices. I learned about life force, energy, chakras, um, like chi. I've learned about um, there are in Eastern medicine there are meridian channels of energy that go through your body.
Okay.
They're called meridians. Um, and along each channel of the body are different points that have to do with different systems, whether it's your kidneys or your lungs or your heart, are all different points all over your body to stimulate those parts of the body. So that's pretty cool.
So Ashiatsu was just kind of one of many different styles that was learned in like a single course.
Called there's something, I forgive me, I haven't done ashiatsu in a long time, so this is me like just trying to bring it all back. But ashiatsu has a certain technique about it called acupressure. So those points I was just talking about with meridian channels are associated with acupressure. So you apply pressure to certain points. Reflexology is a great example of
Yep.
you have, it's a little bit different because each part of the foot is associated with a different part or system of the body. Um, but acupressure is more just like going along the meridian channels and applying pressure to those areas to relieve, or I should say release, life force energy. There's a center in Ashiatsu, it's referred to as the hara. So the hara is your the core, I guess, of where all of your energy comes from. And the point of acupressure and ashiatsu is to palpate the hara and also bring the energy that's in those other spots back to the core. Does that make sense? So like,
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, a little. Yeah, because I'm more familiar with Ashiatsu for like the physical work it does. Like I've had it a few times over at this one place up in North Providence on Mineral Spring. Yeah, basically professional back walking. I just remember like
yep,
receiving them for the first time, and it's like it's that hurt, but not like that deep tissue bad hurt where you're like it helps you, but you're left in pain for days. It's more of just like that good hurt in the moment kind of thing where it just like gets in deep, but they don't have to strain themselves too much while they're doing it.
Yeah, that's a using the feet is very common. I think in other other cultures, I feel like I learned a very I want to say European style, but what I use, what I incorporate is, you know, just hands. So it's interesting how different styles of massage are associated with different regions. Um, yeah.
So, when you completed your courses and you had to do clinic work, did you like intern anywhere to complete those necessary hours?
Um, Not really. So part of part of that training was I had to actually outsource, you know, and find people in my circle that were willing to. My goal was to find. I probably could have used the same like 3 people, but I wanted to try to find as many people to work on as possible so I could learn and get better and.
And
Um,
possibly build a clientele after.
True. Yeah, that too. So I worked on good friends. I worked on family members. Um, one experience that was actually pretty cool for me was a friend of mine from high school. Her grandfather was very sick and going through treatment for cancer, and he since passed. But at the time, that was really cool because they sought me out to be like, hey, we know that you're pursuing a holistic, you know, massage therapy program. Um, we'd like to get a session for, you know, for our grandfather.
Oh,
I was
that's
very do that.
it's really cool. Um, Now, uh, okay, so they didn't require you to try even outside of the clinic hours to try to find any internships at all?
Yeah, I mean, they encouraged that. That was part of the. I did have a. It also helped. I had a course at the very, very end that was called. It was called clinic, and basically, so they still do that now at LTI, where you can go in to. I think you can go in through the cosmetology like section of the mall, and you can request a massage, and it's discounted, and you're
From the students.
but they're getting the experience, and people are getting like discounted massages. It's pretty cool.
So I've been trying to set that up for so long. Every time I go in there asking basically, hey, I'm hoping to get a clinic treatment.
Uh,
They just keep like later on will call and be like, oh, we heard you're interested in joining the massage program. I'm like,
no,
no, I'm interested in the clinic hours. How do I get in for that?
so it's tricky because it doesn't run year round. So it's based on whenever the course, like I said, it's a year-long program. So at the end of the program, um, they have, I want to say, a month or two where they're offering. Sometimes they do it, you know, more frequently than that, but pretty sporadic when they do have it. They only have it for like a month or two.
Is it like the same month every year? Like, is the program lengthening its courses? Is it like at a specific point of the year when they do that?
To check with that because I'm not sure, but I've been getting emails for it for forever. Um, and I think they typically do it in like summer, June, July.
Oh,
Yes.
all right. Yeah, I've been like trying right now, and
Yeah.
it's like
Having a hard time getting in? Well, maybe I can work something out, but I can go, I can go in there and be like, listen, this is my alma mater. Not really, but I can say, listen, I went here. I need a deal. But
That's awesome. So,
I haven't even
um,
tried to get one myself, so I'd have to see. But I might have to flash some kind of credentials. Just be like, you know who I am. I was here 10 years ago, but I came. So,
I joined your program. You got the money.
what was your next question? I'm sorry.
Um, so what are the basic styles that you're fully certified in versus ones where you have to take extra courses later on down the roads? Like once you finish school there, what styles were you fully certified to do?
That's a great question. So I was certified to do Swedish relaxation and like incorporate some deep tissue, but I don't think I really learned um, how to. There's so much that you have to learn from doing. Um, like I had taken. It had taken me a few years to like really incorporate, you know, the right techniques, I want to say. Because when I left school, I had a great toolkit. Like I knew what I was doing, but it takes years to really learn and to also work with other people who've been in the field because you come out, just having taken your certification exam essentially, and you've got people in the field working and they've been, you know, licensed and practicing for over 10 years, 10, 15 years. So I feel like I was kind of jumping into the pool with the bigger fish. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's mainly like Swedish, a little deep tissue that you're certified in.
A little bit. Like I could incorporate certain things. I don't think I learned enough at that point to really, and that's why those continuing ed courses are so crucial because you do learn so much more on your own. You know, school is a great foundation, life is a great teacher, and if you're lucky enough and you find colleagues that really, really appreciate you, then you can kind of bounce ideas off of each other and learn how to do something correctly without hurting yourself. Um, yeah, so
Just want to give a quick hello. I saw Nicole Purcell joined us and Bluesy Blues.
yeah.
So, oh, hold on. Now I'm trying to think where I was going with that. So we were talking. Okay, so what are some? Have you considered furthering your education in it at all with like more courses on more styles?
Um, yeah, I mean, I've been doing it so long. I'm like, I'm a little tired. Um, but I do have love for it still. So I guess I would continue with maybe reflexology or something, maybe Reiki, some kind of energy healing um, modality. Because I feel like
Refund.
my hands-on is getting a little, to be too much. So maybe I'm trying to look for alternate ways of healing.
So like give your hands a break. Yeah, if anything, that's either like Reiki right there or Ashiatsu.
My tools are a little bit, they're kind of
So,
screaming, so that's part of what I do is I tell people how to stop and listen to their bodies and take care of themselves. And then when I have to do the same for me, it's not so easy. So um, learning how to do that, I guess. Self-care is a modality in itself.
absolutely. Have you thought of Ashiatsu at all? Like furthering that one? Because that would definitely give your hands a break and make it a lot easier.
I was definitely thinking about it. Definitely thinking about it.
Now, have you ever like worked with any of the your classmates, like in any businesses who you graduated with? Like, did they go on to do stuff and came back to you later, like, "Hey, you're looking for work? We've got this spot here."
Um, I've definitely I've met some really cool people doing their own thing and, who have their own setups, their own practices. For me, I need to, it has to be the right space because I've tried to get out on my own for a little bit and find the right building or the right rental space, and it's difficult. It's expensive. Um, so, but I definitely, I love seeing, I work at a franchise, so um, there's good things that come with that, and then there's, you know, struggles too, like anything.
You work at a what? A French?
Franchise. So,
Oh,
yeah, one of the more known chain spas, I would say.
oh, okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with like Massage Envy.
Mhm.
Um, it actually interesting. This one LMT I know, she's actually got a space, like an extra space in her office that she's been looking to rent out for a while. I can always like send you her details if you're interested.
Yeah, I mean, a conversation always is always good to have. Um, I've got a few things. I actually met a medium recently who gave me an incredible reading. Um, and she is also a massage therapist. And she was talking about opening up a new space and having more people come on board. Thinking about it, definitely thinking about it.
Now, are there any places where you sometimes freelance, like you fill in when someone else is out from that business? Like you can't, like they can't make it in, so they call you in.
What do you mean? Can you say again?
Like, are there any like do you kind of like market yourself out so like any businesses like massage businesses, where they'll call you in if say another therapist who works there is out sick and they need a fill in, even if you don't like work there full time?
That would be um that would be an interesting experience. I've never experienced that. I feel like unfortunately there's a lot of competition between people who run spas, and I feel like a lot of the time, I don't know. Um, every spa manager I've ever met is very money focused, so they're not. I don't know. There are definitely there's definitely weird boundaries around like who can work where, and you know, and I wish there was something like that where you could just say, "Hey, I'm licensed. Put me on for the day. You need somebody." I haven't experienced that yet.
Yeah, I've had a few places where like managers like are not as like
I don't mean to
easy going, but a lot more snippy, or like they'll they'll be trying to set up a session. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, so long as you cancel it by this date, that's fine. Or if you just want to reduce the time, that's fine." And then I try doing that, and then it's just like, nope.
yeah, you know, um,
It's so. What's your ideal kind of work environment? Like if were running your own business to for massage um, for massage therapy, like what would your setup be like in a room for any client who's coming in to see you for the first time?
well, it'd be a lot of these things. um, a lot of uh, plants, a lot of um, I would want them to feel like they're walking into a jungle.
Ooh.
That's what my setting would probably be. Um, a lot of like, I'd probably have one of those waterfall, like the artificial waterfalls.
I know.
Uh,
Yeah.
just something that makes them feel like they're as close to nature as they can get, probably would be my that's how I'd want my space to be.
Yeah, to feel more like grounded, more tranquil.
Mm. Yeah, just something, you know, I feel like, I mean, these vines are fake, but I feel like even having the, you know, even having the aesthetic of being somewhere that's not a doctor's office, um, I feel like that would be pretty cool. Because I've been in a lot of spaces that you're like you walk in, you're like, oh, I mean, it should feel professional, absolutely, and you can have your licensure and your certificates on the wall and you know your chart of all the muscles. That's fine, you know, but I definitely have a lot of candles and a lot of Himalayan rocks and lamps and crystals and you name it. It would be um, it'd be
That
very
nice,
very holistic and very jungle-esque. I think that would be my
like the nice dim colored lights, the soft music in the background,
yeah.
kind of stuff.
My favorite thing to massage to, I guess, would be like Native American flute, or I'm actually I love Dead Can Dance. I don't know if you've listened to them, but they're really cool. Um, just stuff like that that's like so out there and like I don't want to say out there, but just very, very grounding, spiritual almost, without being creepy. I mean, I would try to, there's always some tracks that are just like they're a little too oh, and you're like, what's going on here?
Throws
But
off the whole thing.
some combination of like, you know, nature sounds and um, relaxing, you know, light music and tribal stuff because that's what I enjoy listening to. But I probably honestly, if somebody was like, I want to get a massage to Led Zeppelin, I'd probably put that on too. Just just because some folks are like fun like that. They're like, I don't want to. Let's talk about everything, and I don't really want to listen to that music. So I just put on my own stuff.
That is awesome. Because I was literally about to ask if anyone ever like has requests for music that answers that. Um, Now, I also know you also do music actually as another position. Do you incorporate that all into like your style and rhythm of massage techniques, or do you ever have clients that want you to sing to them? Like, do they know that you do music?
Yeah. I do. Sometimes the requests can be a little odd, but um, I sometimes it's funny because um, like I said, I have clients that like to joke around and like talk the whole time, and I'm like, "Don't you want to relax?" And they're like, "No, let's shoot the breeze," you know. Um, so I have that happen a lot, but
All right. Now, what's your process when you bring in a new client? Like, before like the session itself, what's the process of like getting everything ready? Your intake with them, like, how does that start?
oh, well, it starts. I usually get a good idea of what's going on with them physically. Do they have any skin conditions? Do they have any pathology, concerns even? Because sometimes folks are like in the middle of getting a diagnosis for this weird thing on their leg and they don't know they don't know what it is. So I like people to be very open about what they feel is going on in their body and you know, what might come up during the session. Um, I work on folks with all kinds of things, heart conditions, lupus. They have a colostomy bag. They're an amputee. Like, I just, like there's so many different things. So I really like to get a good printout of, what's going on with them in their medical history. recent and non-recent, and that gives me a good idea of what's going on. So I ask for that, and obviously what they're looking for in terms of body work. I get a lot of folks that have chronic pain and they need specific area work, so I ask about that, just so I can get a good idea of what they're thinking about in terms of what they need, what they want, and then I kind of compromise with, okay, what can I physically do, or what can I spiritually do, because there's so many different people and everyone has different needs and different stressors, so it's I try to get a good intake before I work on somebody, because it's you know
Now, how do your sessions themselves, like, how do you start them off, like, get clients relaxed? Like, what do you usually start your sessions with?
that's a good question. I guess just a general check-in of like, how do you feel? Is the table warm enough? Is the light where it needs to be? Is the music soft enough or loud enough? Or sometimes people don't like music at all. And I just kind of check in with them, like, how are you feeling on the table? Is there anything that I need to adjust differently? And then I usually start with compressions over the sheet or over the blanket.
Like on their back?
Yeah, just to kind of, I start people prone, which is face down usually. And I just kind of palpate and see what's going on. And sometimes it's funny because sometimes folks will tell me right away, like as soon as I put my hand on a particular spot, they'll be like, oh yeah, that shoulder's no good today. And then I'm like, okay, well, no, you already said that to me, but now I can palpate it and I can feel what's going on. So that gives me a good, intuitive start session.
Now, are there like what are some like common responses people have during sessions?
Common responses.
Yeah, like I know some people it's like if they're getting it for the first time, I should say.
Oh, well, that varies. That varies because I don't expect everyone to be like me and like fall in love with it as soon as they get one. Sometimes it's very different. Sometimes folks are more on guard, or they're nervous, or not sure how it's going to go. And that just comes from, I guess listening to what is generally said about it.
Yeah, because I know like some people are probably hesitant just being touched in general. Some people are probably too ticklish.
I get a lot of husbands that have gotten gift cards from their wives, and they're like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't like being touched. Boo. And I'm like, well, come on, man, give me something. Like, we're here for an hour. I have to do my job, and I can't just say you're here and and lie for you. So I gotta, and when that happens though, sometimes people are so opposed to it at first, and you try to kind of not talk them into it, because you don't want to do that. Sometimes you got to say like, okay, if you don't want to be here, you can go, like, not a big deal. But it's really nice when it happens in the opposite direction of somebody doesn't really want to be there, and they're like, I don't even know if I'm going to like this. And then they walk out and they're like, wow, that was great. Like, I had no idea that I would have enjoyed that, and I did, and it was a calming experience, and I'm even going to come back. So that's always nice when that happens.
The satisfaction of converting folks.
Converting, yeah, well, in a way,
How often you get people who are like maybe a little too sensitive, like they get fidgety or like tickly during a session? How do you usually help them with that?
Well, that usually is, I was taught in school that being ticklish is actually, so it's part of your parasympathetic nervous system. You have the fight or flight response. So that can
So
act part of
like
that.
a mental thing.
Yeah. So when somebody feels that, and sometimes it's funny because folks will say like, "Oh, my feet are just ticklish, but you can work on them anyway." And then my brain goes, "Yeah, but if you're gonna kick me in the head, like I don't I don't think I want to do that." So sometimes it's a matter of having that conversation of saying like, "Hey, you seem to be a little bit guarded in this area, so I'm gonna steer clear." Um, because it's not my job to push past your boundaries, whether stated or otherwise, because boundaries exist on a spoken level, and they also exist on a physical level, nonverbal. So I have to listen to that.
Have you ever actually almost been like kicked, like someone didn't realize like, oh, this part of my body's sensitive, and then they like
Yeah,
flipped?
usually they don't say anything and it just happens, and that's not fun. But I haven't been like physically hurt like that in in a session in a really long time. When it does happen, it's not that bad. But it's funny.
Yeah.
Um,
I know like sometimes people say, oh, it's just a matter of adjusting the pressure. It's like sometimes it's the handhold tricks to like get them used to the feel of it.
Sometimes it is. It depends on, yeah, sometimes if I just change what I'm doing, like the technique, sometimes the technique needs to be more broad. You need to use a different service. If you're using let's say you're using your thumb
Thumbs.
and they're getting ticklish, maybe it's a matter of using your fist instead, or sometimes I
Yeah.
use, um, it really, it depends. And then there are times where they're really like jolting, like I said, and you're like, okay, this seems to be a no zone for you. I'm going to
Yeah.
listen.
So move on to somewhere else, just have more time elsewhere. Yeah, what would you say are some of your favorite like techniques to use in massage therapy?
Um, I have to think about that. Um, this is going to sound a little strange, but I feel like there's something really, it's not my thumb, but it's like the webbing between my index and my thumb when I'm like grasping and pulling the tissue. And that's usually like on somebody's back or their neck, something like that. I don't know, there's something about it that's really calming for me. Like I'm like kneading, kind of like how when, have you ever seen a cat take a blanket and like do that thing where they're like pulling and pushing it and
Yep.
they're like drooling because they love it? I mean, I don't drool and I don't do that, but it's kind of like that where they're doing this work and they're feeling like comforted by it. That's kind of like that for me, with that particular technique. I don't know what it is, but um, so yeah, I kind of like that. And I don't know if I enjoy this so much lately, but there is one technique where I kind of use, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. So when you work on someone's shoulder, you want to have the arm kind of behind them, and you go behind the shoulder blade. And I usually use my forearm and go like into my elbow, like behind the shoulder blade. It sounds very
Mhm.
not that painful. Sometimes it can be, um, but yeah, that kind of like going from the neck down the shoulder blade is, you know, pretty good technique. Um, One of my favorites to learn. So yeah, I think that's it. I mean, generally, I love relaxing people, so that's awesome for me. Um, so I guess any technique that does that, where I can tell somebody's like pretty not, those are the only two that are really specific, I guess.
Now, what about when it comes to the different areas of the body? If you had to pick like your top three or rank from like favorite to least favorite, what would you say is like your favorite to work on and continue down?
My favorite is scalp massage. Yeah. Um, and I would say I've always been, I don't know, I guess I really enjoy working on people's like necks and their traps. I like getting those little knots that like hide out in there. That's pretty cool too. Um, I'm trying to think of a third one.
Yeah, or even just like list like from favorite to least favorite.
I feel like calves are pretty fun too because I work on a lot of people that run and they're on their feet all the time, and I also feel like because I because I love receiving work on my calves, I like working on other people's. Does that make sense? Because how,
That makes absolute perfect sense, and I love that answer because the there was this massage therapist I had in North Carolina, and when I went in for this, before I went for the session, I was like, they were offering this like option to like mix like a regular massage with like reflexology, and it
yeah,
was like, and then I was like, okay, so can it be like half hour Swedish on the rest of my body, then half hour Swedish on my feet, then like half hour reflexology on my feet, because that's like what I really love getting worked on most. And they were like, yes, and I know exactly who to put you with. Jody, you're gonna love her. And even though I was even like saying, oh yeah, save that for last because that's my favorite, she would like do a quick warm up start on them because she loves working on them so much. And she was like telling me, yeah, that's why I love working on them is because I also love receiving it. I know how good it feels, and then I know how to apply it to others.
and that's why it's so important to receive as a professional. And I feel like a lot of people I know, myself included, don't receive enough, and it's not fair because we don't put ourselves first in that way. And I think that's part of the unfortunately that's part of the what draws people to the profession. I think folks that put themselves first usually do this. Um, but yeah, it's one of those things where until you get it, you just don't know. And then when you know, like it's really easy to do that for somebody else, I guess.
So it's for you, it's scalp, then neck, shoulders, calves, and then what? Would you say like feet and then back, or the other way around, or arms?
Well, that's a full body massage. No, I'm kidding. Um, I think yeah, I don't know. I think those are definitely my favorites. Working on feet is okay. It's okay. I think what's really sad sometimes is like this might sound kind of gross. I don't know, but um when you're working on somebody's feet and they have something called plantar fasciitis, which is when the fascia on the bottom of the feet gets stuck, and you have to release it. It's also kind of like gritty and has this like weird consistency. Like I don't know. I think of bubble wrap every time I go over it because you're just like you're pretty much you're in the fascia. So that's kind of like a I don't know satisfying feeling to work that out. I
I
guess
mean, bubble wrap is also satisfying to pop, seeing as
like people have bubble wrap on their feet, but
I.
like harder, like pebbles. Like it's a grittier feeling.
And and you did say you were interested in learning reflexology too.
Huh?
And you did say you were interested in learning reflexology more as well.
I used to fall asleep when when we would receive, and so we would do would do sessions with each other, obviously in school, um, and I would just fall asleep, like so easy. It's
Now, how have you like furthered your knowledge in the field? Like if you ever have a client who's looking for something and you're not as sure how to do it, do you ever like look up YouTube tutorials from like other professionals in the field or read anything on it?
I'd be more apt to I would rather read about it or even take there's so many continuing ed courses on things. I don't think I mean, I guess YouTube could be part of that because that's how people upload their content now, but um I would feel weird, I guess, just trying it out in the moment if I don't even though I'm a professional, I would still feel like it's kind of like do you want to dye somebody else's hair when you don't really dye anyone else's hair except your own and you're just going by YouTube. I mean, people do it, but that's a source of anxiety for me right there. Because I'd be like, well, I don't, in theory, I know what I'm doing, but this is, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I when I was in school, I would look up a lot of YouTube tutorials like how to Photoshop, how to do this tool in Photoshop, or how to use this effect in After Effects.
Yeah.
And I even had a friend who struggled with chronic back pain, and we had this trade deal of like reflexology for like free haircuts because she was a hairdresser. And so I looked online, saw how to do it, and it actually proved very effective because I'm a like a visual learner.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, so seeing like what to do exactly where, and then just like getting in a rhythm of that really like taught me a lot.
That's good. I mean, kudos to anybody. I mean, obviously, um, I think it's a little bit different, right? Because with hands-on work, you don't want to hurt somebody. There's that liability there. Whereas I feel like you can't really hurt somebody with Photoshop. I mean, you can. The tabloids do it all the time, but uh, so I guess that's why it's so a little bit nerve-wracking for me because I feel like I'm like, well, I don't really want to try to learn how to do this in the moment when I have somebody on the table. But um, continuing ed courses are pretty good.
Now, what type of products and tools do you use during your sessions? Like, do you ever use like that Theragun, or are there any like
Yeah,
essential oils, sugar scrubs? Like, what are some of the add-ons? Like, do you have any add-on services that you offer in your sessions?
CBD. um,
Ah,
so I'm a huge fan of CBD. I take it orally. I take it, I use it, you know, um, on the skin, and I think it's great. So CBD is a big one. Uh, I also use a Theragun. You're right. Um, and I do a lot of aromatherapy. Um, I think essential oils are pretty necessary. Um,
what are like some of your favorite scents for like for aromatherapy or and body lotions to use?
oh, well, for me personally, I'm a huge fan of I like woody smells. Like there's a certain kind of wood or certain kind of oil called hinoki. I like that because it smells like kind of woody and smoky and
Kind of piney.
yeah. So but I also like to combine that with like a sweeter smell, whether it's like vanilla or jasmine or um, something warm and comforting smells like, kind of a blanket. So like you're under a blanket in the woods. That's kind of that's how I kind of, but for aromatherapy, I usually do like lavender or if somebody has a headache or stomach issues, mint is always the way to go.
Love
Um,
mint. Also, eucalyptus is fantastic.
eucalyptus is good too. That one kind of makes me a little bit queasy every time I use it, but um, I think it's just the strength of it. But I
Yeah,
do
there are definitely some stronger ones and some lighter ones.
a lot of a lot of medicated lotions and balms and things that help with muscle pain or usually have camphor or menthol in them. So there's a reason why mint is so powerful. Um, but yeah, those are my favorites.
Now, do clients ever bring in their own products that they ask you to use during sessions?
Had it happen a few times, yeah. And I don't have any I'm never opposed to it if somebody wants to bring something that they like to use. I'm not really personally sensitive to a lot of herbs or scents that I know of. So I usually you know, it's free reign for them to bring that if they choose. The only thing is there's one time I had somebody bring in her own lotion, but it was a very old bottle of lotion, and as soon as I dispensed it in my hands, I could just smell how rancid the oils were, and I was like, "Sorry, this is rancid. I cannot use it on you." Like it smells so bad.
That
So
must have been very old.
I don't think she even knew. So as soon as I like showed it to her, she was like, "Oh yeah, I don't know what happened there." But that's pretty much the only time I will not use it on somebody.
Yeah, I've had products that I've had for years now, but they've still stayed in pretty good condition. Like I've got this sugar marshmallow one that sometimes I'll use, and then that was given as a gift, and then I've like grabbed like at the hotels, like they have like those little like finger size like little bottles of lotion that people just take with them every time they leave. I got some of those.
Yeah, I feel like I have a few of those in my personal belongings too, because I usually like to get aromatherapy on myself, obviously. So,
Yeah,
um,
like Blue
um, but yeah, yeah, aromatherapy is pretty great. Um,
Now, what are some other ways you like to treat yourself in wellness outside of massage therapy? Like, do you enjoy facials, manicures, pedicures? Do you, any other kind of treatments that you enjoy getting for yourself?
um, yeah, yeah, I would say I do. Um, I love natural skincare. Um, there's a brand that I use for myself. It's called Evan Healy. Um, and they make everything from like their cleanser is like lotion based, so it's kind of like a lotion that you're using to clean your face, which is so much better. Takes the makeup right off. Um, they have like these things called hydrosols. It's the spin on the word hydrosol, so it's floral water that you spray on yourself. It's very like it's I don't know how much it actually does for your skin, if I'm being quite honest, but it smells great and it's very grounding. Um, and I feel better. So skincare is really where it's at for me. Um, but I don't know if I do so many pedicures or manicures, mostly because like I'm always cutting my fingernails, so I feel like getting a kind of or a manicure, I should say, would be like I don't know why do it. I'm just gonna cut my nails super short anyway, and but pedicures are definitely very nice, and I am way overdue for them. So thanks for that reminder.
I got plenty of recommendations. Also, just a quick hello to Peter Lewis Zimmerman joining us. Actually, he was on The Walking Dead, so that's actually really cool to have someone from that show watching this right now. Hello, Peter.
Hello, welcome to our chat.
Okay, so a lot of facials, pedicures, that kind of stuff. What other ways do you try to take care of yourself? Like, are you more of a meditative person or a yoga person?
I am.
Oh, actually, we're about to hit the limit. An hour.
Well, I
Oh
do,
no.
to answer your question, yes, I do love yoga and I do love meditation and nature hikes. There's something to be said for getting in nature and just being you know, kind of away from technology for a little bit.
Let's
Um,
hop back on quick just for a quick closing.